Hey everyone, I've been lurking here for a while, but never thought I'd actually have to post something. Here's the backstory. My girlfriend, 26 female, and I, 25 male, have been together for a little over 2 years. We met via mutual friends and quickly progressed in our relationship, finally moving in together 5 months ago. She started a new job about 4 months ago. Things seemed fine at first, but over the last month or so, she's gotten really close with this guy at work. She refers to him as her work BFF, and at first, I didn't give it any thought. A couple of weeks ago, however, I noticed they were texting late into the night, way past normal work hours. When I asked her about it, she shrugged it off and said they were just talking about work stuff and joked that he's her work husband. And that's just how it is in the office. She said it's completely platonic and that I had nothing to worry about. I didn't ask, but okay. I did not have any concerns that it wasn't platonic at that point, but her emphasizing the fact, that was the first alarm bell going off. I ended up seeing some messages pop up on her phone. Not intentionally snooping, we were sitting next to each other on the couch, and her phone was going off, but if that hadn't happened, I'd have tried other means. In one of the messages, he was complimenting a pic on her Facebook in a way that felt more than friendly. She brushed it off like it was no big deal, but I couldn't help but feel uncomfortable with the tone of the conversation. A couple days after that, I saw that she was texting him about personal stuff she usually talks to me about. Things like how her day was, some personal problems she's been going through, and I had not a damn clue about them, whatever they were. Then, last weekend, I found out that they went to lunch together alone. When I asked her why she didn't mention it, she said it was no big deal because it was just a work lunch. But she never even mentioned this work lunch to me till I asked. Plus, she's been really private about her phone lately and just seems to be distant when we're together. I know I have valid concerns. I know she's up to something. She swears there's nothing romantic going on, but I never inquired about her relationship with him whatsoever. Till she volunteered with that information, I wasn't at all concerned about that. So why is she insisting this to me? I haven't directly confronted her about everything I've seen yet because I don't want to seem controlling, but I also feel like this is heading in a bad direction. So here's my question. How to approach this without turning it into a huge fight and her end up gaslighting the hell out of me? Should I wait and gather actual evidence to confirm whether there's more happening? Maybe I'll just walk away without confronting her at all. Any advice or similar experiences would be appreciated. Update. It's over. She was cheating. I was restless after my post, so while my girlfriend was asleep, I logged into her Messenger account from our laptop. They were messaging in real time, and it was disgusting. They were talking about planning to meet up on their weekend and have sex. The way they spoke about it, how casual they were about betraying me and making me a fool made my stomach turn. There was zero respect for our relationship or me. I printed out the juiciest bits of their conversation, their plans to meet, all the sexual innuendo, and referring to the things they've done over the clothes, etc. I left the printed copies on her nightstand and waited for her to wake up. Next morning, she woke up to the evidence sitting right next to her, and I calmly told her that I wanted her out of my apartment by the end of the day. I told her that if she wasn't gone, or if she tried to make excuses, I'd send the entire conversation to everyone at her office. She looked like she wanted to protest, but there was nothing else she could say. The proof was right in front of her. Then she kind of snapped. She said I was deranged for printing the messages and accused me of being controlling and paranoid. She packed her things, but the insults didn't stop. Even after she left, she kept texting me, calling me a freaking psycho for kicking her out when moving in together was my idea. The texts have gotten increasingly abusive, and she's acting like she's the victim in all of this. It's baffling how she's flipping this on me, like I'm the crazy one for not wanting to live with someone who's planning to sleep with another guy. I've blocked her on everything now, but I'm still reeling from everything that's happened. It's hard to wrap my head around how quickly things spiraled, but I'm incredibly lucky because I found out from the get-go. I'm glad I trusted my gut and took the steps I needed to protect myself. Story 2. Me, 22 male, and my girlfriend, 19 female, of 2 years. She's been acting distant and avoiding me since she got back. So I'll start with some background. Me and my girlfriend have been together in a relationship for about 2 years now. It was by no means perfect and has had its ups and downs, but we always managed to get it together, especially before she had to move overseas for half a year. Although half the world apart, the first few months away from each other were still good because we kept good, consistent contact with each other. But problems soon arose when she got a demanding job. I understood that she was tired, but conversations eventually became one-word responses and, quite frankly, dry. In that last month, we went from daily messages to practically no communication, just small talk. The one time that she actually messaged me was the day of her birthday, and to be honest, it made me slightly mad that it was the only time she bothered to actually talk to me, so that conversation turned hostile and led the following weeks into an awkward silence. I did what I could to explain why I acted that way, but nothing changed. Even though she quit her job in the final 2 weeks, nothing more than small talk was spoken between us or what she did during that time. The day finally came when she would come back to my city, and I knew things would be different because not only is our relationship strained, but her environment is changing as well, as she's going to be living on campus in a big university. Over the first week that she came back, I tried my best to reconnect with her, but she continued to be distant. We were talking as though we were strangers. I asked to meet up and talk about us, as in what our status is, but she just tells me to give her space as she's stressed from her new environment, new school. In the one Skype conversation we had since she got back, she cussed me out for issues earlier in our relationship, which were indeed my fault, but we already put it behind us, so I found it extremely strange she would bring it out randomly like that. She continues avoiding a meetup by telling me she needs to study when it's the first week of school, or there's a friend's birthday she has to go to that she just met, but I find out she's been going to a lot of campus events from frat parties to barbecues and never said anything about it to me. I know that she's made a lot of friends since coming back, and maybe that's the reason she's always out to events, but it seems like she's gradually becoming less responsive to me as well. It's been a week since she's been back, and me trying to reconnect. I don't know how this situation turned out the way it did. I just want to know if there's any hope in fixing this, or even if she's just stringing me along at this point. Should I just call her out on it? Update. So, it's been 4 weeks since she got back, and I've tried my best to find out what's going on between us. But after the constant avoidance of my questions and meeting up, I took it as a sign and told her I was done. But I guess since the time she was away for 6 months, I just had this gut feeling that something was off, but she continued acting naturally as if nothing was wrong. I know it wasn't right, but I snooped into her social media. What I found devastated me. I always figured that if anything, she was cheating since she got back, and I was angry. But after seeing what was on her Facebook, I was just numb. I would consider my now ex-girlfriend one of the most kind and caring people I know, and it's still so hard for me to accept she was actually a completely different person leading a double life. From what I read, she basically was talking to people from her home country the entire time, as well as having sex with other people during our breaks. I know breaks are kind of a gray area, but I asked her if she did anything and she always said no. And during the entire 6 months away, she was fucking with other dudes, but acting perfectly normal to me when we talked. It was only in the final months when she was coming back that I suppose signs were more obvious as we barely talked. She got back to the city and now enrolled in the college life. She'd been partying, messaging a ton of men, and basically just hooking up with everyone, without even attempting to break it off with me. I'm sorry if this is a long rant, but I just have such a hard time imagining that the girl I was with, who I shared such a strong and deep emotional bond, could actually be this person. During our relationship, there were literally no red flags I could see, besides when she talked about her past when she was in her home country. Apparently, it was all about hookup culture, and all her friends were cliché sluts. But she always criticized them, and I assumed she was different. But I guess a person is really who they associate with. In a sense, I'm relieved because I no longer really feel sad, angry, or anything at this point. But the tone and way she talked about our relationship to others basically meant our relationship was a lie, and she was probably just attached to me because she was lonely or needed emotional support. It just felt so genuine. But I suppose she's just a great liar and really made herself seem like a perfect girlfriend. She may or may not know I did this. How do I proceed from here? I know it might just be my emotions kicking in, but I felt like calling her out on it. But is it really the right thing to do? She also still has some stuff at my place. I'm not sure if she'll ask for it back, but should I just dump it anyway? I'm really not sure if I could ever face her again. In terms of calling her out on what you found, that's really up to you. Sometimes confronting someone like this can give you a sense of closure, but other times it might just drag things out and add more emotional stress. If you feel like you need to call her out just to get some finality, go ahead. But if you're already feeling detached and ready to move on, it might not be worth it. She's already shown you who she really is, and honestly, you don't owe her any explanation or confrontation at this point. As for her stuff, if she doesn't ask for it back soon, I'd pack it up and either let her know it's ready for her to pick up or just donate it if she doesn't reach out. You don't need her things hanging around as a reminder of everything that happened. Take care of yourself and focus on healing. Now for some comments. You know it wasn't right, but did it anyways because you just had to get an answer, right? Of course you two can't just break up without her giving a good enough reason to you. Your behavior suggests you were quite the toxic boyfriend, so her hooking up with other dudes during the breaks were inevitable. She likely was influenced by her friend's happy singledom versus the shitty relationship where she was probably taken for granted. Then she realized she was enjoying herself, something she had lost in the relationship, hence the distance when she got back. Honestly reflect on the relationship. She probably wasn't a good or perfect girlfriend, but just broken down and agreeable. What the fuck, dude? You broke up with her and then snooped in her social media? You need to tell her to change her passwords. Don't call her out on her behavior. It is what it is. She's not for you, you're not for her. Bringing it up only creates more drama. Work on yourself, not on creating drama. Just let her know she has some stuff of yours at your place, and if she doesn't come pick it up by X date, you're going to throw it away. And then also tell her you know her passwords and that she should change them so you don't have a temptation to peek. That's a lie, but it follows the minimize drama principle above.